dear students. Welcome to a very special lecture series on scientific writing, part number 12. I'm Dr. Pervez Ahmed. In these lectures, we will have a discussion on practice of writing research papers. We will try to teach your research scholar that how they can write or how they can start writing a research paper. So, let's start today's lecture. Writing a research paper, the general point that you should keep in mind and that you should remember whenever you have the intention for writing a scientific research paper. And these points are first of all, give yourself enough time to work. Be remembered that writing is a process. I mean, it's not an easy task, it's a process. So, a good paper doesn't come out perfect first time for anyone. I mean, if you are thinking that you will just start a paper and just in one go you will write a complete paper, so you are totally wrong, because it's not a one day task, or it's not just a simple task that you started and you just in no time you put an end to that. So even the best scientists have to struggle to organize their paper, and everyone including you need to go through several revision before you reach to the final product. I mean, this is not a one day job, as we mentioned already. You have to keep on writing, keep on modifying, keep on revisions, and after several revisions you will get the final product. So you have to keep calm, you should be patient, and you should be consistent with your working style. So the quality of writing reflects the quality of the research. So it's very important that you know about the best thing about the scientific writing. So for that, use clear, direct prose. I means when you use a clear and direct prose, so it will reflect your writing style, which in other words will reflect the quality of your research. So for that, make sure that you follow all the guidelines, because your every word count here. So don't use extra words or excessively long words when shorter ones will do. Sometimes the people they are using unnecessary long words, which in most of the circumstances, it shows something like a diversion from your real idea or your real work. So it's better to use the small words instead of lengthy sentences. So write as you would speak. So find a good paper from a respected journal and use it as a model for your own writing. I mean, sometimes the people confuse that how they can learn or how they can start, or how they should proceed toward the writing. So the best thing for that is you should find a paper most relevant in your field from a well-known journal, and you should follow that as a pattern, or you should follow that. I mean, you should have a close look on that, and according to that you should modify, you should write your ideas. So start with an outline of the paper, sketching out what's going to go and the introduction, etc. Use subtopics and subject sentence to build your outline. Then write a rough draft that includes the main ideas and fleshes out your topic sentences into the paragraphs in rough form. Uh, but don't worry about the detail like exact references, full sentences, etc. at this point. Use active voice when possible. There is a trend in the scientific population toward writing. For example, I measured 50 ml rather than 50 ml was measured. The active voice is usually less wordy and more interesting to read. That's why we suggest the audience to do their writing in the active voice instead of passive voice. Once you have finished with your rough draft, take a break before rereading your paper. Then start to fiddle with the details. Cleaning up the prose, etc. You should take a break. You should refresh your mind, and then start rereading your own written data or your own written documents. So it will give you a chance to refine your own thing. Let a friend or colleague read your draft. Listen to what they say, because you know that we say that the audience are the best judge. So once you finish with writing, give the initial draft to your colleague or your friend working at your lab and ask them to read it and listen to him that whether it reflects the same idea for which you mean the document. So let's suppose the document is exact according to your idea or your intention in mind, so then it is okay. If not, so you should revise. So write your second draft and then spell check and check the grammar carefully. Make sure the ideas are outlined clearly and the flow logically within the text. uh, then publish, or you cannot publish, better at least you should submit that into a scientific journal of your choice. So check before submissions that you number the text pages consecutively, beginning with the first or the title page. I mean, page numbering is also very important. Sometimes the people they forget about the page numbering and they just submit it to the journals. So when they send it there, so the journal right in the first day they send it back to the author that the page should be numbered consecutively according to the journal format. So number your tables, that is type separately from the text, not more than one on a page. I mean, we remember that you should have at least one paper. I mean, you should have the most one table on a page, and that should be consecutively in the order and which you want them to appear. Sometimes the people, some of the author, they put two or three tables on one page, which is looking very awkward. So normally even the journal, I mean the editors, they are asking or they have the instructions for the author to put it to put I mean the most at most one table or one figure on a page. Read the title and heading of each table objectively to determine whether the table can be understood without reference to the text. Search the text for the references to the table to make certain that each table is referred to and that each of the reference is to the appropriate table. Indicated by a marginal node applies for each table. Examine your text, table, and legend to make certain that each reference cited is accurately represented in the reference list. Examine your reference list to make certain that each work listed there is accurately referred to in the text, table, or legend. Examine each item in the bibliography sections for accuracy of data, wording, spelling, and other details. Prepare adequate legends for all illustration, that is double space on a separate page. Made certain that illustrations are numbered consecutively in the order in which you want them to appear in your articles, that each of them is referred to at least once in the text, and that each reference is to the appropriate illustrations. Indicated by a marginal node applies for the figure. Reconsider the appropriateness of your title in abstract and your index terms, if there are any. Review the special requirement of the journal to which you are submitting your manuscript and make certain that you have met them. Carefully read your final typescript at least twice, the second time preferably on a different day. So in case of submission by mail, prepare as many copies of your text table and illustrations as you are required. Or in the case of online submissions, prepare the final according to the instructions for the authors and provided the software you have used. I mean, normally during the online submissions, all the journal they have their own instruction for the author. So it is best, first of all, you should understand those instructions, and accordingly you should prepare your draft, and then the submission process. It will be easier for you once you have all the document ready, so that you can easily do the submission process. So keep for your file a complete copy of your manuscript and accompanying materials. Enclosed copies of enclosed copies of releases for material requiring release. Include on the first page of the TypeScript the address to which letters, proofs, and requests for reprint should be sent. And here you should note that nowadays tables and figures are usually inserted in the text or an electronic manuscript at appropriate positions. So, with the captions included, refer to the author instructions in the case. I mean, it's mostly mentioned in during the electronic submission that what you should do with the figure. So, most of the journals they ask you to put the figure at the most appropriate place where it's been first cited inside the text. So, normally, most of the journal nowadays they suggest that the paper, the tables and the figure that should be inserted inside the text, so that it should be easier for the reader to follow it easily with the required mentioned text. So that's all we have for this lecture. Thanks for watching. See you in next lecture. That will be lecture number 13th. So stay tuned with that lecture, because in that lectures we will tell you that how you can do the correspondence with the journals included from submissions to revision, acceptance and rejections. So stay tuned with us. We will come back very soon. Till then, bye bye.